Greetings, YouTube Nation. So, my next project will be this Athearn locomotive. This is an Athearn SDP40 in the Fantasy New Haven scheme. I got this off of Facebook for a very reasonable price for the obvious reason. Does not work. And in my book, the only non-working Athearn is a dummy locomotive. But when I reached out to the Facebook seller, because I got this off of Facebook Marketplace, one of the pictures revealed the flywheels. So this was a powered locomotive. But I don't believe in a powered Athearn that doesn't work. And I'm going to make this work. So, I'm going to switch angles so that you could see for yourself. Hold on. So, I've got the locomotive on the track. Power pack is on in the forward position. So I'm going to apply just a little throttle, and we're at 40% and nothing, but I am hearing a humming sound. I'm at 80% throttle. So it does run. It does work, albeit not the way that an Athearn should run. I mean, I'm at almost 70% throttle, and she runs, but she's struggling. So there is some fight in her. I say, let's help her fight to get running again. Now I already have a New Haven SDP40F, so my plans with the shell, when the seller sent me additional pictures, I already have an idea forming in my head. The shell's a little bit knackered right over here. It's this part came off during shipping. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put it back on or just leave it off, but we'll see. Let's get to work. Well, I saw this in the photos that the seller sent me when I requested them. Now, peculiarly enough, these are the brass flywheels that you would see in a gold motor, but that motor ain't gold. So it's kind of peculiar to see mismatched colors for the flywheels and the motor itself. And with the sluggish performance, I ruled out the likelihood of Ernst gears in this thing because the axles have the lug nuts here, 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 and over here. So there are no Ernst gears. There's just something funky about this locomotive aside from oxidized axles that's causing this poor performance. So let's continue with the disassembly. This is clean. I don't see any reason to do any heavy-duty work on it. The motor mounts still have their elasticity, so we can keep those. Odd thing about the worm gears, it's like they're too recessed. It's usually over here. Can I move? No. Just very weird that it's so recessed like that. But if it works, it works. But the worm gears, although dry, are clean. So's this worm gear. It's clean, but it's dry. But I'm not going to afford to take any chances. Take care of the metal strip here. It's fine. A little dirty over here. Frame appears fine. It's just has a bad case of dirt. And we're going to clean that. All right. Now the motor itself, the flywheels look absolutely corroded. And I'm going to try and clean these flywheels after I take care of the commutator and the brushes above and below. Uh-oh. Hold on. All right, close call. Spring got the better of me, but in you go. And the copper strip is clean, but a little polish up won't hurt a bit. Now we're gonna take care of the we're gonna take care of the top motor clip, but before I reinsert the top motor clip, I'm going to put a couple of blobs of solder onto the top motor clip, because we're going to replace this nasty looking clip with some wires. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the top brush off camera, and as well as service the commutator. And I'm also going to see if there's a way for me to clean these flywheels. So I'll be back in a bit. So I've got this motor cleaned and serviced, and after a few passes with on the fiberglass wheel of my bench grinder, this motor is running at 40% throttle. And what I mean by a few passes on the bench grinder, I've got nice and shiny flywheels. Well, not shiny, but nicer looking than before. So right now I'm going to go ahead and take care of the gear towers. So I'm going to disconnect this. Set that aside. Going to remount it. Since the motor mounts are in very good condition. And I'm going to take it, and this is what I mean by taking care of the gear towers. Up. I think it's a tad too bright. Anyways. So that's what I mean by taking care of the gear towers. I mean, yeah. Look at that. This is that was the front gear tower, and this is the rear gear tower. I got my work cut out for me, so I'm gonna clean these off camera, and then we'll begin the reassembly. Be right back. Alright, so I have cleaned everything as far as the gears and the gear towers, so everything is ready to be reassembled. I've also gone ahead and tinned the front gear tower and the rear gear tower so that I can solder a wire from the gear tower to the motor clip, and also from the top of the gear tower assembly, in order to install the rear LED light. And I also have the front headlight already good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and cue the music so that we can begin the reassembly. Here we go. reassembly could have taken a whole lot quicker. But of course, with all reassemblies, there were a couple of speed bumps, but it was for this reason that I accelerated the playback when I was reassembling the locomotive. So, as you'll see, I've got the LED light in the light bracket, wire from the gear tower to the motor clip, wire from the motor clip to the LED, wire from the motor clip to the LED, the wire from the gear tower to the motor clip, and wire on top of over here to the LED. So with the power pack in the forward direction, we have forwards and we have reverse. So nice to get this girl running properly. And this is on 30% power and 30% power and forward. So now, let's go work on the shell. Actually, you know what? Before we address the shell, let's see how she performs on the layout. She is on the main line that is connected to that power pack. I'd like to think these days that this particular main line that is connected to the power pack, considering that it does go around the L, I'm going to dub this the endurance track. So now that I have this girl on the endurance track, let's take her for a spin. And off we go. And we are at 45 to 50% throttle. What does the current draw say? Current draw is lovely. And we are running at 10 volts, if I'm reading that correctly. Here she comes. And she's running pretty good. Let's see how she is in reverse. Alright, I'm going to let her stretch her legs for a little while. And then we'll get to work on the shell. As I've already stated, I already have an Athearn SDP40 in the Fantasy New Haven scheme. So, what I plan to do is, and when I saw the pictures sent to me by the seller, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So, I took a pencil and a ruler, and I marked from, hold on one second, maybe I could get you some better light. So I marked from over here a diagonal line that goes right to the very end of the two cabinets, the two cabinet doors. And with the motorman's, with the fireman's side, I've done the same thing. From the top, straight, diagonal, diagonal line, right to the very bottom of the two cabinet doors, just before the torpedo tubes on the shell. So, I might do, I'm going to keep the, I might change the lettering over here and the decal. I am going to keep it, it still will say New Haven towards the end of the shell, but it's going to look very different, and you'll see. So, stay tuned. Right, so this is how far I wandered off the reservation. In the spirit of CSX doing their heritage locomotives, where it starts off with the CSX colors and then it goes to the fallen flag that they're honoring, I've pretty much done the same thing. If you think about it, Amtrak has not rolled out any heritage locomotives, any locomotives commemorating the railroads that formed Amtrak. You don't see any Amtrak locomotives sporting Penn Central or New Haven or New York Central or the Pennsylvania. I mean, Norfolk Southern honored all the fallen flags that formed their own railroad. So did CSX. CSX is still doing that, but Amtrak didn't do it. They haven't done it yet. I don't know what they're waiting for, but I like the colors, and of course I did replace the decals, and I got a microscale decal to cooperate. I had to improvise with the rear headlight because I didn't have the little plastic things. The only plastic headlights that it came with was on top of the cab. So I'm thankful for that. And the horn may not be the correct horn. I have to get different horns from one of the retailers that I've done business with in the past. But I'm happy with how things came out. You can like it, you could hate it, and if you hate it, that's your opinion, because this is my layout. And I'm going to put this thing onto the chassis. Be right back. So here's the locomotive on the Endurance main line. She looks really nice. The lines are like really clean. So I'm going to apply a little power and come on, correct direction this time. There we go. And we're off to the races. We're at 45% throttle. Current draw is excellent. Just between almost 10 volts. At the clubhouse turn. I may have to do something about those LEDs. I may not be sitting in the right position. All right, I'm going to lash up some cars to her, see how she handles. Well, she pulls pretty good. Current draw is excellent. I'm a happy camper. So, I'm going to call this one a successful restoration. And with that being said, I want to thank all of my subscribers for their continued support. If you are not a subscriber, there is a link for you to subscribe. Please like and share. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you soon.